In this lesson, we're going to talk about the catalog. The catalog allows you to create a list of items that you can use both the slideshow mode and the kiosk mode to navigate that list. So essentially, you're creating a library of a large quantity of items. You can also use categories and subcategories to manage or filter which items will actually display in your presentation. And you can also add animation to make the item cycles more engaging. So let's go and jump into the Designer Studio and show you how to configure the catalog. And so what we'll do in this lesson is create a catalog or a library of different skates. So we're going to use the rolling skates as our example, and we'll use categories to catalog the different type of skates that we're going to display in our presentation. So let's go ahead and switch to the resources. And you see here that we have several images that we can use for our products. These are all different type of skates. And so the goal is to be able to flip through each one of these products, displaying both the description, the image of the skate, as well as the price. And again, use categories to filter which products to actually display in the presentation. So now let's go ahead and switch into the catalog. Under navigation, choose catalog. And here we're presented with the items and the categories. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to want to add the different items that we want to use in our catalog. Let's go ahead and make a little more room here. And we'll hold down the control key and select all the different skates that we're going to want to use in our catalog. Go ahead and drag and drop them over here under the items. And so now we define that we have 7 different products or items that we're going to display in our catalog. Next, we're going to want to define the properties or the information for each one of the items that we've added. And so let's go ahead and select the first item, go to its info tab, and go ahead and add our price in this info type. So I'll just go ahead and make up a price for this skate of $59 and go ahead and add a description, and I'll go ahead and paste in the description. Now you can use these fields any way you like, so we just picked to always keep the price at info 0 and the description at info 1. But of course these fields can be mapped any way you like, and later on when we get to the scenes, I'll go ahead and show you how to map the fields inside the scene editor. So just because I didn't want to bore you, I went ahead and just mapped all the different fields. I'll just go ahead and show you really quick. If I switch to the different items, you'll see that each item has a price and a description. And now we can go ahead and set up the different categories. So we'll switch over here to categories. And what categories allow you to do is to be able to filter the different type of products you want to display in the presentation. So you can choose to display all the products, or you can filter by specific categories. And we also support subcategories. So the first thing we want to do is click on the plus sign right here to add a new category. And we'll go ahead and rename this our ice skates and press enter. Next, let's go ahead and add one more category. And let's go ahead and call this our rollerblades. Press enter. And in this tutorial, we're just going to use single level categories, but if you wanted to create subcategories, simply select the folder, click on the plus sign, and you can create subcategories as well. But we're only going to filter by one level category, so let's go and delete this subcategory. Now I'll go ahead and save the work. And now what we need to do is switch back to our items and assign each item to one or more categories. So for the first item, go ahead and set this to be a rollerblade. Second is also rollerblades. Ice skates. Ice skates. Okay, well that was pretty painless. We just added 7 products. We added an image, a resource, added both the type or the category for each one of the products, as well as associated both a price and a description. Now what we're going to do is we'll build a custom scene, and inside the scene we'll associate the custom items. So let's switch over here to our scene editor. Let's go ahead and add a new scene. Click on the plus sign right over here, and we'll go ahead and call this our skates scene. Press enter. Let's go ahead and make a little bit more room here so I can see more of the scene. And go ahead and drag and drop from the components 3 catalog items. This one over here is going to represent my description. This one is going to represent the price. And the last catalog item is going to represent the resource. Go ahead and change the size of the image to be exactly 173 by 161 so I don't get any skewing. Change the colors, the fonts. And next what I need to do is map the proper fields for each one of my catalog items. For the first one I want this to be the description. And so as you remember, our description was info1. The price was actually set as info0. And the last catalog item is going to be set as the resource. So you can see that I'm free to use any one of the fields and map them to the appropriate catalog items. Now one more thing I want to go ahead and do before I associate this in with the catalog player is to add some animation. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to have the price actually fade in, and I'd like to have the description kind of fly in. So first I'll go ahead and select the price. I'll go over here and switch to common, and I'll set the appearance to be dynamic. I'll set the first point to be alpha of 0, and the second point I'll go ahead and set to be alpha of 100%. And for easing I'll go ahead and set in cubic. Next I'll go ahead and select my info1, which is the description. Next switch to position and size, and again dynamic just like before. And for the first point I'll go ahead and make sure that it's actually going to have an X value of negative 300. And for the second point I'll go ahead and position it just above my info0. I'll go ahead and make sure that this whole flying in transition is going to happen in about 2500 milliseconds or 2.5 seconds, and I'll go ahead and save my work. Now let's go ahead and review this and see how it works. Click on the play, and you can see that the price kind of fades in and you see the info1 flies in. But I actually want to go ahead and add some easing as well for my description, so I'll select the first catalog item, which was at my description. You see that it's being selected. Again, go to the position, go to the second point, and set an easing of out elastic big. Let's go ahead and preview this one more time. Click on play. You can see how now it kind of bounces around. So now let's see how it all comes together. So we'll switch to our campaign and timelines. Go ahead and just add another free channel so we can put our work. And switch over here to components. Next we'll go ahead and select our catalog player. Drag and drop that to our free channel. Double click to load up its properties. And over here where it says drop scene here, we'll switch to our scenes, select our skates scenes, and associate it with our catalog player. Next we need to decide which categories we want to display in our presentation. So I'm going to go ahead and start with both the ice skates and the roller skates. Let's go ahead and make a little bit more room here. And go ahead and click on play. And you can see that we have the nice animation of the description. The price fades in and fades out, and so does the image fade in and fade out. Now, as I mentioned, we were setting both the ice skates and the rollerblades. Now let's go ahead and set only the rollerblades. So we're not going to watch any ice skates in our catalog player right now. Again, press on play. And as you can see, we're seeing only the rollerblades right now. Now let's go ahead and change it around, and this time look at only the ice skates, and again press on play. And now we're presented only with the ice skates, since that's what we selected. Some of the other properties you can choose are the interval. So if I change the interval to be, let's say, 2 seconds, you'll see that it's going to go and cycle through items much quicker. You can kind of see how the description overlaps, since again we have a much quicker time interval. And you can also use the kiosk mode if you wanted to actually add interactivity and navigate items through a touch or a click. So as you can see, the catalog is a very versatile tool that allows you to easily add many products or items to your presentation, and also use categories to filter which products you want to display. I hope you enjoyed this presentation, and be sure to let us know if you have any questions about the catalog.